So I'm going through what is a neural network lecture now. So in this lecture, before we go into neural network, I think Andrew Ng should have talked about why neural network specifically from a biological point of view. Okay, you see, everyone is learning deep learning because of the economical opportunities that we have forgotten to think about what is it doing, the intelligence aspect. It is trying to simulate intelligence artificially, so we need to understand what our human intelligence is, right? So if we could just compare, okay, you can go on Wikipedia and you can actually see how many things there are. If you just compare the size of brains in mammals and everything. So this is a very interesting link. Wherein if you check in number of neurons, in elephant is highest, 251. But is elephant the most dominant species on Earth? No. Are we the most dominant species? Yes. We have actually become out of food chain, right? Just 2000 years ago, just 10,000 years ago, we needed to hunt, otherwise we would be hunted. Okay, we had to be together in bands, otherwise we would be killed. Even multiple cats can probably threaten our lives, let alone dogs. So we are that weak physically, but we are the most dominant species. We have gotten out of the food chain simply through our intelligence. So this is what this thing tells. So even though the in number of brains there are so many things, but in terms of cerebral cortex, our intelligence, which is localized in our brain, we are the dominant. And that is why, despite the huge biodiversity on Earth, we are the most dominant species on Earth, despite being weakest. Why? Because the intelligence is concentrated in our brain. Now you can check, if you go into chat gpt, you can check there are what are some interesting facts about this. Okay, so let me just open that, and we can get a pretty nice summary. Okay, so let me, what is approximate number of neurons in human brain? Okay, so I'll ask this to Chat GPT and I actually know the answer. Oh, wow. So we have around 80 to 100 million neurons in our brain. Okay, but it's too many to think. So maybe we can actually go and look at the neurons from point of view of I don't know, available on Wikipedia. So where is it? This is the Wikipedia list. Let me close this. So you can check our number of neurons are around 88 million in approximate human, but in animals it starts from some of the animals 200 neurons. Okay. So what is intelligence? Intelligence is nothing but intelligence in our brain. We have a huge number of animals who have centralized intelligence in brain, whereas plants have decentralized. That's why they don't move, right? So centralized processing unit is what the brain is. This is what I was meandering for so long around. So we have the CPU and intelligence is present in our brain. So that is why, despite there are so many number of species on Earth, okay, I mean, most of them can kill us. A bite of a snake will die in half an hour. A bacteria, we can die with infection. A virus, we can die with something. So every single thing, different snakes, different toxin, different plants, so many things can kind of like kill us, right? So despite that, intelligence have gotten us so far, and deep learning allows us to build similar things. As you can see here, this is number of neurons, right? And what do we have in chat gpt number of parameters? Number of parameters is nothing but what our human brain has neurons. Number of parameters is nothing but a way of measuring number of connections. Okay, it's not just number of neurons, because neuron is a single unit of intelligence. One neuron can actually form connections up to 10,000 neurons. Not just in humans, almost all animals, how they have evolved on Earth. Anywhere else, they could evolve differently. But as you can see, it is nothing but a single neuron which can connect to multiple neurons. And in 3D, if you check, so now let me go to 3D. So if you check in 3D, you should be able to see as a TensorFlow playground that around 88 million neurons I said. We just simplify them. We can make it 3 by three neurons. So let's have a extremely simple neural network here, which is nothing but an artificial brain. Now, it might not be as capable as humans are. Whatever humans can do, it's a human general intelligence. It is quite smart, even though we are not paid for, driving skills. We are not paid for driving much. But the thing is, driving is so complex that we haven't yet done it. Let alone that the flying of a housefly is so complex, this that we still haven't been able to build drones who can navigate this thing fast enough in that small hardware. So, and the electricity requirement of our brain is 10 watt, less than one tenth of power of a laptop. And imagine how efficient a brain of a housefly would be, right? Less number of neurons, less power requirement, less food requirement, less capacity. But even in that, it is extremely powerful in around 10 to 20,000 neurons. So not probably 20, but yeah, in 100,000 neurons, fruit fly is where you will find extremely complex intelligence start popping. So the navigation it can do, amazing visual processing, amazing smell processing. So all of this complexity is built in 100,000 neurons. Each can connect up to 10,000. That is the number in humans. I don't know how many in animals we have. So we have a neural network, which is an extremely simple simplification of that, and Chat GPT has reached this level of scale. So going back to this point, why learn neural networks? Instead of directly going into neural network, if we just compare, neural networks are approximation of something which is very powerful. They are a simple approximation of a brain which is so powerful. The intelligence has not only enabled, so think of what humans have achieved. Okay, we in 10,000 years of science, we are able to go to Mars. Okay, we have built a source of fusion. How sun can create energy, we have that fusion source. We can do that in our laboratory. So fusion is possible. We have done solar energy. Solar energy is now cheaper than all forms of energy. Imagine how big of an energy problem we had. And compare it with what is the natural energy of every single thing on earth. It is solar energy. We have finally built a renewable source which is as powerful as this the natural thing, simply through our human brain. We have gone from steam engine, we can do spaceship, and you can imagine how much more we can do. So how powerful human brain is. We can conquer planets now. In future we can conquer galaxies maybe. And if you want to see how far we could go, there is one extremely interesting thing called as Kardashev scale. Okay, so if we Kardashev scale, you can just check it on website. You'll just go crazy. It's like if a civilization, entire humanity is a civilization. Okay, imagining different kinds of civilization. If a civilization has harnessed the entire energy from their star, for example, we would become a type 1 civilization, a type 1 advanced civilization, if we fully absorb and consume energy of our star. Okay, then if it is a type 2, then it has kind of like started controlling the entire the complete star, and then it is star system and then galaxy. So you see, we are right now not even one type 1 civilization. Right now, if you just check, there is a video by Kuz Gozak. It's one of the most amazing video ever. You can check it here, what alien civilizations look like. I think the audio is not captured. Let me just capture that. Let's see. It's still not captured. I guess I'll figure it out later. But you can check this, by going into these tangents, by going into these interesting tangents, this knowledge becomes more relatable. These feel like a lot of tangent, but eventually they'll all converge into a quite good understanding. And once we have a context behind why our brain is so awesome, Okay, why a brain is so awesome, we can actually only then appreciate why neural networks are awesome. Right? So a brain, even in 100,000 neuron complex brain, which is a fly-like brain, if we can simulate that thing, we can have an extremely powerful system. And we can simulate, as I already mentioned, we can simulate something up to ChatGPT. 100 billion parameters, and soon the field will become even and even more optimized. So why learn neural networks? Neural networks are approximate machines. They are approximate, but even though they are approximate, we have a lot of power over them because we can manage them artificially. We can just increase power, increase data, improve hardware, put billions and billions of dollars into research and improve the hardware. And why would I put billions and billions of dollars? Because now the profit is worth billions of dollars. You guys might not know, but even companies like Gillette, which does just shaving creams and blades, even they have $1 billion budget. Okay, and AI company, Deep Fold company, it had just 500 million price of when Google bought it. So you can imagine how underappreciated and undervalued AI is. But you can also imagine how powerful it is in terms of its capacity. So before even going to what is a neural network, but trying to understand how powerful the foundation of intelligence is, that will allow us to appreciate neural network a lot better.